About 25 minutes east of Nashville, you'll find one of the most historical places in the Nashville area. That is the one and only, the home of President Andrew Jackson, the Hermitage. Alright, this is the front of the Hermitage. Boy, it's absolutely beautiful out here. Look around the grounds a little bit here. That's the front of the property, goes on up there. The driveway is shaped like a guitar. They didn't mean to do that when they built the Hermitage, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, guys, let's go and walk on around the property here. This is quite amazing. Boy, it is beautiful here. Cold out here this morning. It's cold out here this morning. It's about 15 degrees. It's supposed to warm up to about 30, 32, something like that. But guys, it is beautiful out here. Look at these trees. That's awesome. All right, let's walk on around. Wow, that's pretty. That's cool. Let's walk around the side of it. Now, the Hermitage was built between 1819 and 1821. And then it had a huge fire, just the side of it. It had a huge fire that severely damaged the Hermitage in 1834. And then it was rebuilt by two architects in 1837 to its present state. This is the back of it. Boy, is that pretty or what? Wow. This the grounds. The slave quarters are back there in the back. We'll go back there if you can see it right back there. We'll go check those out in a little bit. But today is the 202nd anniversary of the Battle of New Orleans, which they are having here today. It's going to be a special event they're having throughout today. This is the back of it. That's pretty cool. Wow. Yes, it's pretty awesome. Alright, let's walk on back here to the back of the property and see what we find. Got several other cabins here. It's been a long time since I've been here, so I don't remember what these cabins are. But we'll find out. Here's the back of it again. Beautiful. Alright. Let's see what this cabin is here. Alright, so this is the cabin of Alfred Jackson, who was the wagoner in charge of Hermitage vehicles and horses. Wow, this is pretty wild. I don't know if you are allowed to take cameras in here or not. How cool is that? Alright, we're going to continue on. There's some more cabins back here and on the very back of the property there, so let's continue on over here, and then we'll make our way back to the Hermitage to see if we get some more views of it. Guys, look how beautiful it is out here today. My goodness. This is awesome. I'm not sure how many acres there is. I think there's 600 and some acres. I may be wrong on that. But man, this is beautiful. Beautiful. Then looking back at the Hermitage, that's the back of it. Alright, so this little cabin here is known as the Hunter's Hill Farm Building. It says that this log building was not part of Andrew Jackson's Hermitage. In 1929, a fire destroyed one of Jackson's original barns. To help replace it, the Ladies Hermitage Association purchased and moved this log building from the nearby Hunter's Hill property. Little is known about the history of this building, but construction techniques and material suggest that it was originally built between 1820 and 1850. That's pretty cool. Let's get a little bit closer up of it. There you go. We're going to continue on and walk down here to these other cabins here that were home of where the slaves were. Alright, this building is known as the First Hermitage. I'm going to let you read this here, and you guys can pause it or go real slow if you want to read about it. Quite an interesting building. But yeah, that's pretty wild. That building there, yeah, is known as the First Hermitage. Yeah, let's go check it out. Huh. All right. And guys, you can look all this up online about these buildings. I know I'm not giving you great detail about any of this, but let's look on the inside of it. I guess we can look on the inside. Okay, we can do that on the other side. Looks like another building or something was going up there. All right. Wow. Wow, look at this, guys. That's pretty wild. Bird flying in there. This is pretty wild. All right, let's go to this other one. That's pretty wild. Look at that. It's amazing. Ooh, and boy, look at this view. Look at this view, guys. As you can see, the Hermitage back there in the background. Well, I was just reading about this area here that's empty. I was just reading that that's a portion of the archaeological evacuation of a brick cabin located south of the standing buildings. Since excavation is not yet complete, many questions remain about the excavation of this building that was here. It says that it appears that it was a 2-unit brick cabin similar to the brick cabins built at the field 1/4 north of the property. So that used to be a cabin, and I guess it was torn down or missing, and there's doing some archaeological evaluations on it. Find out more about it. Interesting. And I was also reading about these slave cabins right here, the ones I just showed you. It says that it says Andrew Jackson arrived at the Hermitage in 1804 with 9 slaves. By 1821, that number had risen to 50. In 1823, Jackson brought another 30 enslaved African Americans here from his recently sold Alabama plantation. So he had quite a bit of them, of slaves here on the plantation. Right here is some of the cotton that's still grown today, where originally Andrew Jackson had planted cotton on the property. It's pretty wild. We're back at the back of the Hermitage. Let's go check out the gravesite of Andrew. Alright, we are now walking to where Andrew Jackson and his wife Rachel is buried, and I think his favorite slave is buried there as well. I may be wrong. It's been a long time since I've been here. Oh, check this out. Looks like this is where they grow, the garden where they grow certain plants. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, we're now here on the property where they are buried at. And let's see here. We got several This is the son, as you can see, of Rachel. Quite amazing. And here's where Andrew Jackson is buried. So he is right there. I don't know if you can read that or not. Pretty wild. I can't hardly read that on there. But yeah, pretty amazing. Alright, this is what the Hermitage originally looked like. The drawing there, you can read a little bit about it right there. And then it was changed to this. Right here, you can read that. You can pause it if you want to and read it. And then it was changed to this, which is where it's at now, and you can read about that as well. Alright, we're looking down at the beginning of the driveway or the entrance to the Hermitage that was original. As you can see, it's lined with trees. And then I'm going to pan around to the front of the Hermitage, as you can see it in the background, and then it circles around. It makes a circle and comes back around. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Again, it's in the shape of a guitar. Alright, many of you may have been wondering about the Civil War here at the Hermitage, and I'm going to just pan over this so you can read it. And so it's quite interesting. It tells you a little bit about the history there of the Civil War during the time period of the Hermitage, which is quite interesting. Go back up here, and so yeah, it was quite a time period when all this was going on. As you can see, you can read it there. Interesting. This is the freshwater spring house that's on the property. This is where they got all the water from. You can look underneath here and see all the water. That's pretty cool. And the little creek is right here. And that is the fresh, where they got their fresh water from. Alright guys, we're now walking the trail. This leads you out to the fields where the slaves worked. And you see you got the fresh spring going through here on the property. That's awesome. Alright, we'll walk on down. And this is the spring that goes to the spring house, as you can see back there in the background. Alright, I've never been back here. I've been to the Hermitage a few times, but never walked the trail here.
This is my first time.
Yeah, Brady's first time.
This is my second time here at all.
Gotcha. This is the only second time that Brady has been here, so this is new for both of us. So we're going to walk the trail here and see what we find along the way. The Field Quarter Spring, nourishing body and spirit. What is this saying? Known as Muddy Spring in Andrew Jackson's time, the fast-flowing spring was the primary source of water for the 50 to 80 enslaved men and women and children who lived in the nearby field quarter. Wow. Wow. Right there. Several marbles displaying the cross symbol have been found in archaeological excavations at the Hermitage. Wow. Archaeologists have found several pierced coins at the Hermitage. Such coins were worn around the neck or ankle to ward off evil spirits. Other possible spiritual objects found on site included special bones, prehistoric projectile points, and lumps of sulfur. These things do suggest that the enslaved at the Hermitage shared spiritual beliefs that differed from those at the Jackson family. Interesting. Wow. Alright, dude.
Look, it looks back that way. Look how.
Yeah. It's pretty wild, ain't it?
Yeah. 9.
Wow. That's where they worked the fields.
That's the thing. They worked all this field.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right. This is one of the several fields that all the slaves worked back then. All that was enslaved worked these very large fields. It goes way on past the tree line back there. Man, I don't know how many acres. I forgot how many acres they had here. But yeah, wow, quite large.
It was something like in the hundreds, I believe.
Yeah, close to 1,000 acres, I think. What kind of gun you got there?
Well, this is a version of a
What kind is it?
flintlock musket.
Okay.
So it's musket, and the reason it's called a musket is because it has a smooth barrel. If you had grooves for rifling, it's called a
Rifle.
rifle.
Gotcha.
Now, back then, in order to load a rifle, you needed a powder horn.
Miss Berner?
You need a measuring device. You can measure your powder and a ball with a patch and some lubrication. Or many guys just spit on the patch.
Gotcha.
When you draw your ramrod, you have to force it down the barrel to engage the rifling, or else you don't get the spin.
Right,
That's what
right,
creates the better accuracy of a rifle's the spin.
right.
This isn't that. This is a musket. So it acts more like a shotgun.
Gotcha.
Now, I can load this 3 times as fast as a man can load a rifle.
Is that right?
So if you're in a situation of danger and someone's shooting at you, would you rather be able to load once or 3 times in the same
Exactly, exactly.
Kill him twice as far away as he can hit you if you got a rifle.
He's got a good point there. He's got a good point. So if you're sharpshooter, that would be great. 2, I'm going to carry a cartridge box. In that cartridge box, I'm going to have my powder already in a cartridge rather than in there. I'm going to have a buck and ball sitting on this end. So when I tear it, grab another one, because that happens. You're nervous.
Right.
Out in battle, you would drop many of these. Need teeth, because you have to tear it. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull this is a hammer, a frizzen, called a lock, come back to half cock. You ever heard the term going off all half cocked?
Right, right.
Well, when it's half cocked, the trigger won't pull.
Porridge gap or a bullet to police.
So that's why they say don't go all half. So you want to put powder in the pan,
More when the
and you pull your frizzen back, keeping your fingers out of that because it will cut them. That's a flint.
trenches or something.
Then you
like
come
that.
back to full
This
cock.
would not be too.
Gotcha,
At
okay.
that point, you can fire it. Of course, I didn't go through. You had to put the buck and ball down the barrel, and you have to actually ram it home.
Right.
Then after
Right.
all of that, and I'll show you the spark it creates.
Ah, okay.
So what is hitting this iron, the flint, when it hits the iron, it creates that spark. There's a hole. You may be able to see that hole right through there, a little bitty hole.
Yeah, uh-huh.
The spark travels there, hits the powder in the barrel, out comes the
Out
projectile.
comes the very.
Proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for braving the cold. And I will start by saying the 3 most dreaded words any politician can say: "I'll be brief," and today I mean it. Howard, thank you for inviting us, and Bob, and all of you all for being here. I will tell you just a couple things about the 1st Congressional District. It's the only congressional district in America that's had 2 presidents, Andrew Jackson, Andrew Johnson. And as Bob said, Andrew Jackson was the first person to hold my seat. It's also been held by Andrew Johnson, and also been held by Davy Crockett, who gave one of the greatest speeches that I've ever heard on the House floor. Not long ago, the Congress wouldn't do, can you imagine this, what he wanted to do, so he gave this speech. He said, "You can go to hell, I'm going to Texas." It didn't work out too well for him, but nevertheless.
Those of you seated, if you'd please rise for the playing of taps.
Colors, present, arm. Order. Arm. Right. Face. All right. March.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for the Hermitage here today. I don't know a whole lot of the history there. It's been so long since I've read about all this, but I thought it was an interesting piece of American history, not just Nashville, but American history as well. Here on the grounds, not far away from Nashville, like I said, about 20-25 minutes east of Nashville. Again, you can go online and research the Hermitage. Very interesting piece of history. A lot was going on here. Again, he was, of course, president and general, and so yeah, it's quite amazing piece of property, and it's an amazing shape how they've kept it up through the years, and very interesting piece of property. So if you ever come to Nashville, this needs to be one of the places you come and visit. You'll really love it. Alright guys, that's our vlog for the day. Appreciate you watching. Had a great time at the Hermitage. It's been a good long time, several years since I've been out there, so it was good seeing all that. And man, I forget what an amazing man Andrew Jackson was. I mean, he was everything from an attorney, a judge, a general in the army, general in the militia. Man, he was, yeah, of course, president. But yeah, exactly. So two-term president. So yeah, it's quite amazing going out there. Then them having the celebration, there at his grave site. That was quite amazing. They did taps there, as you saw. So yeah, it's a great day there at the Hermitage. If you ever travel to Nashville, or if you live here in Nashville and you haven't been in a while, you need to go out there and check that out. So quite an amazing place. So man, it was cold today. When I first got there, it was like 15 degrees. It was cold, but well worth it. But the guys, I hope you enjoyed that today as much as I did. It was awesome. Guys, as always, go for your dreams. Take that leap of faith and jump. We'll see you tomorrow.